How far away is the kitchen at these events that we need drone delivery? Are we delivering Bosnian corn dogs to Italian spectators?
I'm working with him on cage anxiety and ideally to show that it wasn't his fault when he bit that woman's earlobe off. Thing 1 and 2 broke up after a pretty strong demo, but I felt like they were kind of doomed from the start. You can't write a full album of songs about flying kites in the house, can you?
This album, right out of the gate, Be Not Afraid, Harken the Waves. Honestly, we don't harken enough anymore. I really don't think.
Well, I think in the UK they harken more than we do.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.
We're actually topical this week.
Technology. So apparently film drones at the Winter Olympics are light and nimble enough to get intimate. Not just nice camera angle intimate. I'm talking about drone close-ups mid-event, so vivid we can count the athletes' nose hairs.
They're chasing lugers down icy death slides, hovering next to ski jumpers mid-jump. Let's just call them hummingbirds with a press pass. And the camera operators, some of them are actually getting motion sick watching the feeds. The footage is so herky-jerky, they literally keep barf bags in the drone office now. Imagine explaining that at work. Did you get sick from the Panera we ordered yesterday or something? Nah, the third 360 on the snowboard.
But wait, these drones are multitasking. They're not just there for action footage. They're delivering food, drinks, even cocktails. This brings a whole new definition to the term fast food. It started as a COVID thing, keep humans apart in the Beijing Games. Now, it's just pure laziness of snack delivery because we can. And anyway, we don't want to lose our seats.
That's right.
We clearly didn't learn from the past. Drone cams made an inauspicious impact on alpine skiing 11 years ago when a primitive, massive machine came crashing down from the sky and nearly killed Austrian great Marcel Hirscher during a slalom race. Of course, now they're tiny, half a pound, super agile, clocking in over 100 miles per hour, which is comforting because you're not nervous enough rocketing down a ski slope. Let's chase you with a wobbly orb.
Remember the snitch thing from the Harry Potter movies? We're pretty close to that at this point. Remember when he swallowed it? It could happen, people. Racer mouth open, gasping for breath, high-speed tiny camera. Next thing you know, inside access. Exclusive footage of a bobsledder's digestive tract, only on ESPN2. What could possibly go wrong? Icy conditions, high speeds, spinning propellers, human error. I'm picturing a skier wiping out because an iced coffee buzzed their goggles. Commentator tries to stay professional. Well, folks, that's unfortunate. Looks like Team Italy has just been taken out by a soy latte. I question the qualifications of these drone operators. Has anyone else asked about that? I've been training my whole life for the Olympic glory, and the guy filming me spent the last week refilling the Slurpee machine at 7-Eleven.
Picture this athlete waiting at the top of the mountain, heart pounding, adrenaline pumping, and suddenly he's buzzed by a kosher hot dog at 80 miles per hour. Totally not distracting on the biggest day of your life. At least the roller skate mishaps at Sonic don't affect gold medal assignments, which leads me to question, how far away is the kitchen at these events that we need drone delivery? Are we delivering Bosnian corn dogs to Italian spectators?
Despite showing promise, Curtis Smith was eliminated from the ski jumping competition when he collided with a drone delivering a plate of fajitas. The medical staff were able to revive him quickly, but his comment was, "The last thing I remember was smelling fried onions." And what about order mix-ups? I ordered sushi and somehow ended up with a gold medal. Meanwhile, podium moment, national anthem swelling, drone descends, box opens, California roll. Crowd politely confused, clapping. Interesting medal design this year. They look scrumptious.
Of course, the coach is furious, angrily Googling to find the refund policy. Some of the athletes take matters into their own hands, dashing into the stands. That's mine, and I worked hard for it. Will you please stop dipping it in spicy mayo?
Sadly, we can't show you the footage of the bobsled finish as the drone assigned was in the stands arguing over a crappy gratuity. We aren't able to report the winner of the race at this time, but can confirm a 20% tip was successfully negotiated.
Not sure if you've seen the TikTok, but a drone dropped a scalding hot cup of coffee that the mother swatted away from her toddler just in the nick of time. Most of the comments have been positive, but there's few that were critical, claiming she's a helicopter mom.
And this stuff is starting international incidents, people. Russian officials were furious after their gold medal favorite Cindy Bratislava came down from a triple jump after colliding with a plate of nachos. Kids the Trooper, though, conducted the entire post-event interview with Velveeta in her hair. We eventually had to cut it short because of her tears. No, it wasn't emotion, it was actually the jalapeno stinging her eyes. Turns out it was ordered by a U.S. judge, so relations between the two countries may be strained due to a newly imposed tariff on tortilla chips.
At this point, I have to admit, I don't even care who wins the gold. I just want to see people enjoying their loaded cheese fries delivered by an actual human.
Okay, want to talk about a feature interview?
Our feature interview this week is with Angus Neyra from URNE. That's right, folks. The new album, Setting Fire to the Sky, is so amazing. We had to get with him and find out of all the details. It's comprehensive. The new guitarist, the artwork, the songwriting, the videos, a little guitar nerdery, and an excellent round of blaspheming monikers. You heard it first here, people.
Let's hear it. The Spirit Alive. All right, let's talk about Patreon. The site is patreon.com/snaggletoothpodcast, and for $6.66 a month, you get an 18-wheeler with a driver alarmingly poor at backing up, full of market mistakes.
Lots of good exclusive content just for our patrons, things you won't ever hear on the show, and we're getting weirder and weirder with it, so definitely get over there.
I want to do a blind beer taste test part 3 with Stace having to be blindfolded. I think we're going to hook that up soon. Also, I was cruising through the Marty Friedman book to do the Marty Friedman review, and suddenly we're out of Megadeth, and it's all comments on Japanese culture, so it slowed me down just a bit. But I will get through it, and it will be up on Patreon soon.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as well as following us on Instagram. In fact, we just went to a Tra show last night, and I did some live streaming. If you missed it, they're up there as reels. You can take a look. We had a great time at a pretty packed black metal show.
Exactly. It was a great time had by all. And that ends now because I think it's time. Hit it.
And now it's time for Obnoxious Trivia!
Okay. Educate me.
I went a little bit with disasters and stuff this time.
Okay.
Centralia, Pennsylvania is infamous for an underground coal mine fire that has been burning underground since 1962. What steps has the government taken about this? A. They issued gas masks to all residents. B. They revoked the area's zip code. C. Refused to pay sinkhole claims if you choose to stay. D. Started a tour bus to fund putting out the fire.
I have to go with B, revoke their zip code. It doesn't make any sense at all.
They revoked their zip code. It's no longer a town. Mail got transferred somewhere else. You're actually not allowed to even live there. There's a few residents that are staying. I don't know why you would stay. The road is closed. There's
I'm gonna say it if you don't. They went postal on their ass. I was just sitting there waiting for us.
They were like, "That's it. You no longer."
All right, we could just end it now because I'm in the zone. But anyway, go ahead.
Not too far from here. I've never even heard of that.
No.
Anyway. The Datlov Pass incident refers to the mysterious deaths of 9 experienced Soviet hikers in the Ural Mountains on the night of February 1st to the 2nd, 1959. What bizarre detail most puzzled investigators about the Ditlov hikers' tent? A. It was covered in slime. B. The entire tent was missing. C. It had been ripped open from the inside. Or D. The tent was moved a mile by an avalanche.
I'm going to say C had been ripped open from the inside.
You are hot.
It must be.
It was this really weird thing where these hikers were out there in a tent. The tent was ripped open from the inside. All of the people were about a mile from the tent, and despite freezing temperatures, they were either not clothed or just in their underwear. Several of them died of exposure, but several of them had injuries that looked like they had been in a car wreck. A few of them were missing their eyes, one of them were missing their tongue, and they were radioactive
Where is Ural Mountains?
in Russia.
Wow. That's crazy.
And they've just recently said it was an avalanche. It's one of the most bizarre stories I've ever
Find a
read.
lot of other shit.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Issei Zagawa committed murder and cannibalism in Paris in 1981. He later avoided long-term prison by being found insane and then later declared sane. What job did he have after being released from his psychiatric facility? A. He wrote restaurant reviews for the Japanese magazine Spa. B. He became a garbage collector. C. He became a veterinarian specializing in exotic animals. Or D. He became a famous wrestler.
I'm going to say he became a veterinarian for exotic animals.
Close. That was so close. He actually
Foreshadowing for what's coming up next. Yeah.
he actually did become a restaurant critic for a
Really?
while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A guy who was in cannibalism. There was a lot of controversy about the fact that he was free. It wasn't actually his first rodeo, but he basically kidnapped this woman with the full intent of eating her, and he did. There's a lot of gross details. I won't get into it here, but he actually bitched that it was really hard to find work when you were a cannibal.
Imagine so. Okay, number 4.
In the Great Train Robbery of August 8th, 1963, a 15-man gang hijacked a Royal Mail train traveling from Glasgow to London at the Bridgeo Railway Bridge in Buckingham, stealing 2.61 million pounds, roughly 60 to 70 million today. What was the most famous key evidence that led to their arrest? A suitcase full of guns used in the heist that were ballistic tested. B, saliva that was recovered from the duct tape he used to bind hostages. C, urine left behind in beer cans. Or D, fingerprints on a Monopoly board.
Wow, they're all really weird. I'll say C, urine in beer cans.
It's actually D, fingerprints on a Monopoly
They
board.
stopped to play a game.
After they were hiding out while things cooled out, they were actually playing Monopoly with the stolen money.
Oh, with the money.
With the money that they stole. Yep. They were playing with that, and they sat there and played Monopoly.
Oh.
And they paid a guy to burn down the cabin,
Yeah.
and he didn't do it. So there was all this evidence left behind.
Incompetence everywhere, people. See what happens. Okay, it's time for our Snaggletoon. And this one is called
Where the Wild Things Are. We find pet influencers to be quite fascinating. Bring us your wildest, most hyperactive beast that cannot be domesticated, and we'll douse them with love and care. So, to this end, introducing Jane from the Lots of Love Pet Adoption Center.
Okay, so this is Calamari. He's an umbrella cockatoo that we received because the owner said he was too aggressive for them. I'm working with him on cage anxiety and ideally to show that it wasn't his fault when he bit that woman's earlobe off.
Week 1. We're bonding. He chewed through 2 extension cords, redecorated a lampshade, and what I'll call abstract expressionism, and bit me in the eyebrow several times. Also, he has this odd deep voice that sounds, I don't know, is satanic the right word? Anyway, we're off to the vet for a checkup.
Week 2. So as you can see, Calamari now climbs in and out of his cage without any trouble. He's definitely eating better, and I haven't heard any apocalyptic threats to that creepy voice the last couple of days. Turns out vitamins, some Sebastian Bach, and a nice bath routine have really helped. Who knew hair metal was avian therapy? Week 3. Major breakthrough. Reading glasses. Apparently, he couldn't read Chaucer before, which completely explains the mood swings. Also, slight update, his name isn't Calamari, it's Stephen, and he used to belong to an accountant. So now he's aggressively into tax codes. He's doing our return this year, and he says he's got IRS contacts with some creative thoughts about deductions and capital gains. Honestly, if this works out, I'm not even fixing the biting problem.
Week 1. Okay, so this is Melonball. She's a feral Maine Coon that was living under a septic tank near a steel refinery. The couple that found her tried to train her, but again, a couple of alleged murder attempts led her here. We're going to try to coax her out of the kennel with some catnip and tuna and see what the vet has to say about how we can reduce her stress level.
Week 2. Okay, so it turns out Melonball has some digestive issues, given the monstrous piles of yak, and cheaper grade cat food was a big part of the problem. I've upgraded her to a high-protein, gluten-free blend from our sponsors, The Informed Paw. She's swiping a lot less at me, but she did reduce the sofa in my living room to a pile of fluff. So we have a little more work to do, I'd say. Open concept living room now, very minimalist.
Week 3. Okay, so it turns out Melonball has a slightly more discriminating taste than I thought. She seems to favor the beef Wellington, but only if the shallots are imported from New Zealand. I've got the fillets browning, but the mushrooms still need to be finely chopped, and it's a concern because the love seat is the only furniture I've left at this point to sit on. Time to invest in some deck chairs? Think Titanic chic. Gotta go, those pastries aren't going to fluff themselves.
Week 1. Okay, this is Squeezer Butler. He's a Burmese python that seemed to grow much faster than the owner expected. I believe we're up to 12 feet already, the rascal. We're going to start off with a vet visit, though he seems pretty strong to me. Look at those pretty green eyes and feel that firm grip.
Week 2. Okay, so it's been an interesting week for Mr. Butler. We can't seem to get enough juicy mice this week, and he's quite an aggressive hugger. We're a little tangled up, but I think it's just that we need to work more on my clicker means release system. Maybe a taser?
Week 3. Well, Squeezer's not exactly what I would call house trained yet, and I think his little ears just can't actually hear my clicker. On the positive side, my cost of pet food have been drastically reduced by this big lug. Okay, that was terrible. I can't take any more. Let's hear Be Not Dismayed. Okay, let's talk about Hum Nutrition.
We have our box that arrived the other day, right?
It's very svelte.
So you too can get your box of goodies from Hum Nutrition. We're always excited when ours comes and knocks things on the floor.
Yes.
As you see, the inside of the box, they have, of course, the highest standards always. So what do we have in our box? We have no crappy berberine. This is the best of berberine.
You have to have standards, people. Come on.
This helps with your metabolism, weight management. It's an excellent tool for those looking for a little extra push. We also have red carpet for glowing skin and shining hair. Try to take those every day.
Stace
And
has
then
those.
who doesn't love their gummies? So we have some cider juice gummies, clearing all those toxins out of your system.
Wait, that's the celery.
Celery.
So,
Celery juice, cleaning all those toxins out of your system.
And then we have some Pro AZV. This is apple cider vinegar. That's what the ACV stands for, gummies. This also helps with metabolism.
But they don't taste nasty.
They don't taste nasty. They're really good, really yummy. You too can customize your own box. You might not, maybe you're skinny. You don't need this. There are other things as far as skin concerns, acne concerns, aging concerns, all kinds of digestive things. Flatter Me is great. If you ever have to poop, you will do so immediately. So use our link. It will save you off your first order from Home Nutrition.
Very good. Okay. It's time for Bombastic Plastic.
Bombastic.
Bombastic!
This is Noothgrush. Failing Early, Failing Often, 2001 CD. Sort of in the same gritty lineage as I Hate God and Thou, Noothgrush seemed like a band playing metal in the model of hardcore punk. Their discography is a thorny romp through splits, compilations, and live albums, and quite a few lineup changes in their 90s heyday. Turns out Matt Harvey of Exhumed actually joined them on guitar back in the day for about a year. The music is crushing, depressive, painfully slow, and chock full of movie samples. You could get away with that sort of thing 30 years ago. Has it been that long?
After a lot of thought, I would have to say that they are definitely my favorite sludge band named after a Dr. Seuss character. I mean, Onceler were decent enough, but it always struck me as kind of preachy, like mankind is destroying the environment, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Gertrude McFuzz crumbled after she got that endorsement deal from Orange Amplification. Thing 1 and 2 broke up after a pretty strong demo, but I felt like they were kind of doomed from the start. You can't write a full album of songs about flying kites in the house, can you? At any rate, this compilation culls together most of the material that appeared on the now impossible to find splits with bands like Dead Bodies Everywhere and Black Army Jacket. The liner notes are excellent, giving details about lyrics, label details, recording sessions, and release dates. Let's hear a little of Dianoga.
Meow, meow, meow. Good feeling, meow.
When you're feeling angry or sad, or maybe when something makes you feel afraid, do you ever make up a dance and stomp your feet or punch an old pillow? Or do you have a loud song that you can sing when you're angry? Here's some loud music which just sounds like it's saying, I'm angry. I'm very, very angry.
See what I mean about the samples? It seems like nobody did it better than Noothgrush. I love how unhurried that song is. Very much in the vein of early Sabbath, and actually that song was recorded with Matt Harvey on guitar. Gary Niederhoff's vocals don't come in until about the 2-minute mark, but when he does, it's all revolting hate screams. Just one-word stream of consciousness lyrics. Gasp. Control lost. Choking on depression. Captive of self. There's actually a harmony guitar part that rolls in just before they fade out. Really cool stuff. I mean, all of this is top-notch miserycore. Stasis kicks off with a disgusting riff, Niederhoff letting us hear every bit of the phlegm in his throat with every scream. This one is interesting because it actually changes tempo slightly, between 2 to 3 minutes from Doom Crawl to Doom Shuffle. Trust me, nobody was mistaking these guys for the Dillinger escape plan at any point.
I'll bring up one more. The song Imperial March / Alderaan is an 8-minute tar pit swim that features Niederhoff spewing out actual lines from Star Wars. We come out of hyperspace into a meteor shower, some kind of asteroid collision, etc. I think it was Han Solo that said that. Plus, there's an actual Alec Guinness quote wedged in for good measure. Try that today, and you'll have a cease and desist letter delivered faster than your mango wings from DoorDash. At any rate, I'm pretty sure you can grab a CD copy of this one, still relatively cheap on Discogs. Just don't try and go for the split with Corrupted, because I think you'll spend less money trying to buy Switzerland. Let's hear a little of the Imperial March, Alderaan. Introduce the interview?
This is our interview with Angus. We were anxious to talk to URNE again, as this album has blown us away even more than the last one. Although still a favorite of mine. But yeah, I really hope they get over to the States. I think the show would be absolutely amazing to go to.
Yeah, they're going to be huge.
Optimism Core. You heard it here first.
Optimism Core.
Optimism Core. You heard it here first.
Totally. Okay, take it away.
Yep. So I know last time we talked with Joe and we kind of got a little bit of a background history of the band, but I kind of wanted to hear it from your perspective and kind of how you got started with guitar. And I know you were with Hang the Bastard Live, and is that kind of how you got involved with the URNE?
Well, so me and Joe have been in bands since forever. So before we were in Hang the Bastard, we were also in another band called Chapters, and which is a more similar music to what we do now in URNE in a way, at least with the latest stuff as well, the more techie, progressive side of things. So we've just been in bands for ages, and then we played in Hang the Bastard, but that was I kind of like joined a bit later, so it's kind of like that was those guys' thing.
Okay.
But I wasn't involved in the writing or anything like that. And then after Hang the Bastard ended, it was just kind of like me and Joe were thinking, shall we just go back to our roots of writing and what we want to do? And I think that's where URNE was formed. And I feel even like with the EP, that we did like a 4-track EP before the album Serpent in Spirit. And we were still finding our feet then. We were still maybe had that Hang the Bastard sort of like essence in us still. We're like, no, we want to kind of like go back to what we were doing originally. And I think that's where Serpent in Spirit came in. And I think that's where we started to find what we wanted to do again. But yeah, me and Joe have known each other for like, I don't know, over 15 years now. So yeah, a lot of songs written together and hanging out. And I think that's where the kind of like writing team of us two comes into the band as well. Just knowing what we want out of the music we make.
Yeah, the labels they have for you at Metal Archives, I know that has to be Hang the Bastard related because they still have Ernest playing stoner metal, and I think they added a little bit of metal. They added metalcore, which is
they text metalcore.
At least there's that. That's even it's a little bit closer. But this album I called Optimism Core. Because I thought it was a lot more optimistic than A Feast on Sorrow.
Definitely. I mean, the last album, I mean, obviously lyrically is very heavy, and I mean, it was what Joe was writing about. It was something I guess he needed to get out. I can't speak for him, but I think that's what it was. And the response from that album as well was amazing in terms of how many people can relate to that.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through something, right? So it's kind of like it was in relation to that and what they got out of A Feast and Sorrow as well. Whereas I think with this album, it was like, let's maybe not go down that depressive route again. And what do you call it? Optimistic core.
Optimism core.
Optimism core. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, like, there's been we've talked to a lot of bands, and there's been a few times that we could kind of feel like kind of next level energy, and I'm feeling it for you guys. Like it happened when we interviewed Black Braid, and the next thing, Black Braid was everywhere. SQL
Yeah.
Grind, we just happened to see him open for someone else, interviewed him, and they kind of took off. And it kind of feels that way. It feels that way with this album because like I Google it, and there's a lot of reviews out already, and it just feels kind of like you guys are on the edge, you know.
Yeah, it is really exciting. I mean, when you write and record an album, you're just like, we think we're happy with it, but then you're like, oh yeah, then you question yourself and then you become unsure. And then we record this album the December before last year. So we kind of had it recorded and then got the mixes and masters about 4 to 5 months later. But we've had the album for a while. So then when you're sat in an album for that long, you maybe question yourself sometimes like, yeah, how's it gonna go down? So
Right.
the reviews, yeah, have been like amazing, and yeah, it kind of like reaffirms that maybe, yeah, maybe this is something special, and I think it's the album that I've listened to the most out of what we've done as well. I'm not one to really listen to what we kind of do. You kind of like do it, and then it's out there, and
Right.
yeah. But yeah, with this one, I listened to this one a lot more, and I think it is maybe yeah, a more easier album to get into initially from the start. Um, yeah, but it is really exciting where how this album is being received and hopefully where we can go from it as well.
Yeah, it was not only was it that I think it was a great record. We have two shows. We have this one for the extreme metal, and then we have one that's rock and roll. We could have done it on either show. You guys are like right there in the
Yeah.
middle. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
both audiences, just take your pick. And we stuck with this show because we interviewed Joe on this show. So, so
Yeah, cool. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's because I guess with some of the writing that we do being inspired by the old classic bands as well,
yeah,
there is
yeah.
that still in the music we write. So yeah, there would be that element
Really
of
cool.
the classic metal as well. But yeah, at the same time, it makes sense if Joe was on the show before too. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you started kind of writing this album and you were layering in harmonies, did you automatically know that you were going to have to become a four piece, or did that kind of decision happen later?
Yeah, it it's tough that because the last two albums, even though there's layers to it, you kind of have to have in the back of your mind like how are we going to pull this off live, especially
Right.
as a one guitarist thing. And I think a lot of the previous songs we could kind of do the Pantera thing where if a solo came in, it would just be bass and then guitar. Um, and I think that was fine for a while, but with this album, it just had too many layers that I think it needed that bigger sound. And I feel we were looking to progress from the previous albums anyway. That I think a fourth guitarist just made sense. And yeah, when you hear Kurt, who has joined the band, he wasn't involved in recording this album, but live it just sounds just like 10 times better with another guitarist.
It's great. Yeah.
And yeah, the set that we were practicing on Saturday for this tour, even the older songs, it just sounds just yeah, so exciting because you've got now the extra layers on top of everything. So yeah, it just sounds bigger and yeah, can't wait to play as a four piece live and also write as a four piece as well. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think this album it needed to kind of step up.
Oh, thanks for kind of spotting me that information for my review too about whether he was on the album or not, because he's in the videos. So I didn't know if, so I was able to be more accurate. That
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just you guys just recorded the album and then he came later. Yeah. So
yeah. He joined afterwards, and I think it was just yeah, we knew to have these songs live, he needed to be a part of it. And he's a good friend of ours actually, and someone we've known for a long time. That me and Joe have known since our first band really as well. So um it just made sense to have him in the band, and he's
yeah.
just an unreal player as well.
Yeah.
How does he kind of fit into the band? as far as like his role? Is he the comic relief? Is he all business?
We were talking about this on Saturday actually when we were all together. Uh, I feel like we've all got our own personalities within the band, so it's kind of like everyone's funny in their own unique way. And I feel everyone's kind of the comic relief in a way. And I think that's why we enjoy touring together as well, because someone will just can just do say one line and it's stupid, but it just like makes us all crack up. So I think when Kurt had his first practice with us, it was just instant. We just knew that he fitted in perfectly, and yeah, it was like he was always there. I know it's easy to say, but yeah, it's just like he had always been there, and it was amazing how easy it was from changing from a three piece to a four piece. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how everyone has what everyone's role is in the band really as
Is
comic
there a
relief.
set leader or organizer, like the person who kind of takes charge, or is it everybody has different jobs?
Well, I would say like Joe is like being the front man as well. He's like the guy and he's like the talker as well. And like he's amazing with getting things organized and that side of things on top of the band as well. Um, I'd say for me, I'm just I don't know. I'm trying to think what the guys would say. I'm a bit like turn up and I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean I do know what's going on, but yeah, it's just I'm a bit in the clouds sometimes as well, you know. But at the same time, yeah, we all write together and and James is just like a machine and drums too. And
Yes, he is.
Wow, yeah.
Yes, he is. I kept thinking Nick Menza on Rust in Peace. I don't know what it is. Like, and I thought I was like getting it wrong, but so then I played Rust in Peace Polaris for Stace, and she was like, "No, that's it. That's the sound. Yeah, that
oh yeah, I see that.
the way the snare sounds and stuff." Again, I mean, again, obviously more modern take on it, but still, I just something about it made me think of Nick Menza. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely see that influence for sure.
And who? All right, it's a different producer this time, right?
Yeah, so it's a guy called Justin Hill, from a
Yeah.
band that I grew up on called Sixth. So
Okay. I
um
wasn't familiar with him as much, so I was just curious.
yeah, I know. I mean, I feel he's done an amazing job on this
Yeah.
compared to working with Joe on the previous album.
Yeah.
Um, that was exciting because it was like going to New York and I'd never been to New York ever. So just being there and then obviously working with Joe Duplantier from Gojira, that's kind of like crazy in itself to be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
do that. So it was like a tr like true privilege to do that. Um, but this we wanted to keep it more local, a bit more relaxed, and we didn't want any stress on us as well. We kind of wanted to maybe like be able to go home afterwards and then unwind and then go back to the studio. So that's why, yeah, the studio was like kind of down the road from where we practice, or like an hour away. So it wasn't that much of a long drive. And yeah, I feel that he just nailed the production and the mix on this. Um, yeah, and then as well as having like Johan, who did the last album as well, on this again, and then Tony from Fascination Street to master it as well. So that the team on this, I know I feel I've done
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. The guitar tones sound great. The drums are like a punch in the they're like
Yeah,
a punch in the face. I mean, that's
I
narrative.
feel it right here.
It's yeah. Again, I mean, I review a lot of records, so I mean, it's really something. So yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
He was immediately on there looking for the combo pack. So he meant because he's like, this is gonna sell out. This is gonna
I've
sell
never
out.
looked for a combo pack in my life ever. I watched I watched Instagram playthroughs. What's the name of the new guitar player?
Curtis.
Of course,
Right.
I don't never do that. I felt like I was like some teenage girl. Like I'm watching him do his little, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this is,
Who is this guy?
and you know, You need to relax, Mark. I was like, I needed to get a grip. So yeah, I was very smitten with the album. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So
Oh, cheers.
yeah,
Cheers. Well, I can't wait for the world to kind of like see what Kurt does on this next album because I'm excited to now be able to write with another guitarist in mind.
oh
So
yeah, yeah,
it's like, yeah, no, it's like the list is endless of what we could do now compared to before, where it was just even thinking of a riff, you're kind of like thinking it with just one guitar in mind, but now you can think, oh, what can the other guitar do whilst this riff is going on, you know?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I love the idea of setting fire to the sky, though. That's it's an old phrase, but it kind of fits well. And the cover art is, if you put this next to A Feast Upon Sorrow, it's like when old movies went Technicolor.
It's
That's what it
true.
feels
It's
like.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, from like the black and white, where they called the talkies
Right.
to
Right.
to like color films for the first time. Yeah, well, oh yeah, true, because A Feast and Sorrow was also a black and white image with the
Yeah.
waves and everything. Yeah, Joe had the concept for the artwork. He knew the vision he had in mind. And then Dan Zollinger, who did the artwork, he just came recommended, and yeah, we just took a look at his work and knew it had to be him as well. And I feel with Joe discussing with Dan, they kind of like yeah worked through like what he had in mind, and then I think yeah the end result is great. Yeah, and yeah, painting done for the artwork, so it feels special to have that.
The artist let you know, like, that she looks like a goddess or maybe Mother Earth herself, or did he say who she was supposed to be, or is that kind of open to interpretation? I mean, she's got a backstory. She's got flames.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Joe specifically had a backstory. I'm sure he does, and that comes with the vision he had. But yeah, I'm not too sure actually. But yeah, it's a powerful image of her like there, and like the big like sort of purple sky behind her. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not too sure on the lore of it. Yeah,
She's definitely taken some kind of vengeance back for sure.
Yeah. It's great.
and I think the title is something. I believe Joe told me that it was Ronnie James Dio said about Richie Blackmore.
Okay.
Where he was like, when he plays guitar, it's like he's setting fire to the sky. I think that was the inspiration behind it, and it was just a powerful line that he said, and he was like, "Yeah, we got to use that."
Obviously, that's when they were getting along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Long time.
He said a lot of other things that will not become album titles after that. So.
Oh, good. Depending on what the next album is about. Let's see. Let's see.
Have you ever seen, it's on YouTube if you ever get a minute, there's a drunken interview with Ronnie James Dio. It's like hour and a half long, and he holds nothing back. Holds up CD and goes, "This album's a piece of shit." I mean, it's like that. So I mean, if you're a Rainbow Dio
Yeah.
fan, yeah, it's up there. He was
Uh,
feeling no pain that night. So
no, I
yeah,
haven't seen that, but that's like the kind of like videos that I love to watch. Just like, oh,
yeah. I think I watched it like twice all the way through because I just couldn't believe the stuff he was saying.
mm,
Because nobody does that anymore. Everybody's so careful now. You know, everyone's so politically correct, and but
yeah,
it
yeah.
was not politically correct at all.
I'll have to go and watch them. I do love watching though Richie Blackmore interviews, like any interview he does.
Oh well, yeah, because
He's got
he's
like that dry Britishness to him where he doesn't even crack a smile, and you don't know if he's like joking or not. And
right.
he can say like one line, and it's like, what did he mean by that? But it's so funny.
I always thought that the Nigel Tufnell character was based on Richie Blackmore. I always thought it was because
Oh
it's kind of
yeah,
got he has the same like facial expressions and stuff. I always thought that was, and I can't prove it, but to me, if you watch a bunch of Blackmore videos and then you watch Spinal Tap, you're like, yeah, no, I see
yeah,
it. No, I guess.
yeah. I love it. There's a video of uh the smoke on the water classic.
Yeah.
And then I swear he said that he was inspired by like Beethoven, like ba 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 ba.
Okay. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
reversed that back, and that's how he came up with Smoke on the Water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that's true or not, whatever, it's just funny that he came up with that from
It
Beethoven.
is.
Yeah.
This album right out of the gate, Be Not Afraid, Harken the Waves. Honestly, we don't harken enough anymore. I really don't think.
Well, I think in the UK they hearken more than
Um,
we do. So.
Yeah.
but it definitely feels a lot more poetic. Was that intentional use of the language or just the love of the language?
Um, I feel it was intentional, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for Joe in terms of how he came up with the lyrics. Because I'm not, I mean, like he shows me the lyrics, but it's just I kind of like trust him to do his thing, and he is inspired by a lot of things and like reads a lot, which then inspires him. But yeah, I feel that the language used in this is definitely intentional, and yeah, I feel the books he was reading at the time were maybe some old Irish poetry books or something which inspired him for that. But yeah, a lot of old language. One thing I've noticed as well, it goes back to the sea a lot. So we've got Becoming the Ocean on the last album,
Yep.
Hark and the Waves, and I think maybe him living by the sea as well is also kind of an inspiration and ode to that. So yeah. Yeah.
So the next album will be a concept album about L. Ron Hubbard, then I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let's bring it all the way to the other side now.
All
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to ask you. So like when you guys are playing together or jamming or putting songs together, as the guitar player, are there times where you are like giving him feedback? Maybe that line would be better clean. Maybe that'd be better growly. Are you involved to that level of kind of giving him vocal your input?
Yeah, I feel when we were in the studio with Justin, I mean, so he's a vocalist in his own band, Sixth. Um, so I feel he had more of a say in the input of like
Oh,
ideas as a producer and engineer as well. But I was also in the studio as well, and I think if I did have some sort of thought of where I was like, mate, why don't you try it like this and that, I would say it. And sometimes it wouldn't land and we would just leave it, but at least we tried it. And I feel
yeah,
that's how it was in studio where it was like, yeah, let's just try everything that we can, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Um, I feel what Joe has done in this album though, he's kind of like exceeded himself compared to the previous albums. He's like, and the layers that he was adding, like there's so much range to it in terms of the clean singing and even the screaming he's doing. It's like pitched to the highs, the lows, the mids. Like it's like a fully layered album vocally, which sounds so full, I think.
yeah, it does. Was it a quick recording? Because it's got like the sense of urgency. It doesn't sound like you labored on it for a long time. It sounds like it was kind of. Was it? How long did it take you to record it?
I feel how long was it? Maybe it was like 4 or 5 days. Maybe I'm wrong. It's like
That sounds about
over a
right.
year
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. Um, but I think from what I remember, no, if a line was fine, it's like, yeah, let's move on. And let's not overdo a line. And because
Right.
I think bands can do that where it's like, oh, let's just redo that line until it's like perfect. And then sometimes it can sound like robotic because you've just like done everything you can.
Yeah, it kills all the emotion. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But no, Joe was like, let me just do a take until I feel it's right, and then let's move on.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I guess with that comes that sort of urgency, as you said.
Yeah, yeah. Well, 4 or 5 days, that's pretty quick, I would think. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the route that you've taken with even adding more clean singing this time because it kind of makes when he punches back in or the heavy wall of sound drops, it punches that much more. And I loved the Rivers of Neil album that came out, but I thought this was done better. As far as really just juxtaposing things and layering things. When did you think about all that, or was it just kind of natural instinct as far as how much clean, how much heavy, how much acoustic? And did you think that some metal fans would be like, no?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thing where like if you start doing more clean vocals, you're definitely going to get the people that are like, oh, there's clean vocals now, like that's not metal anymore, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sellouts.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that was the case with this because I feel we're a very self-aware band as well. That as music fans in general, we know what we like from other artists and what we would want out of their albums as well. So I feel we weren't doing clean vocals just for the sake of doing clean vocals, whereas like, yeah, let's make the chorus and like this or like that. But I think with the clean vocals though, it's got a lot more hooks now, and I've seen that's what the kind of feedback has been for this album, where you've got these hooks which make it more engaging and more memorable to listen to from the start. So I think it's definitely benefited us massively, and I think something we'll probably carry on moving forward. But not to say that it's like all clean vocals, because I think there's a lot of heavy vocals in this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
From guitar playing, do you find it harder to do the slower acoustic bits rather than the heavy riffing stuff, or is there a equally challenging?
Yeah, I think especially the intro to Be Not Dismayed with the acoustic, it that's almost harder in a way because it's just all you've got is like you in an empty room with a mic that's like right next to your hand. So
Mm.
like any like slight like twitch or anything, it's like and like you get all this the squeals and everything. It's like, oh God. So
Yeah.
like, you're really exposed then. So it's like you gotta play that stuff cleanly to get a clean take for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the acoustic stuff is harder to do. But then again, the solos on this album as well were kind of like a bit of a mountain to climb for this one. I think I kind of like wrote the solos and then I was like, ah shit, now I gotta record it.
And play
Uh,
it live all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, and play it live. So yeah, like that was one thing on practice on Saturday. It was like making sure that the solos were like up to record as well. But yeah, the
Mm.
solos were kind of like a crazy challenge on this one.
Yeah, I think Mark was saying that you were kind of a throwback to the thing that he likes, where solo has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
When you write one, do you do it straight through from start to finish, or do you kind of piecemeal it together?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of thought goes into the solos. What I like is well, when I'm listening to a solo, one that you can just hum along to, and then
Yeah.
and like it's like the classic Maiden thing where it's like Fear of the Dark comes on and you can hum every note because you know
Right.
exactly how the solo is going to go. And that's the kind of solo that I kind of want in a way as well, where you can hum along to it, but also it's not just like in the same key the whole time, or it's not just going to stay in the same place. Like it has to be interesting. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think about, yeah, quite a lot.
I did like for the end of the record that you went with Breathe and just totally unplugged it the whole way. It was a really tender moment on an album that has so much heavy as well. Did you ever um have that idea to bring the cello into Breathe with Joe Quayle, or who kind of brought that on board?
Um, it's fun. Yeah, it's funny. So Breathe was an idea that kind of was from 12 years ago, and then all of a sudden came back into our lives because we were going through like voice notes on our phone. That's kind of a lot how a lot of our riffs start as well. It's like a voice note on a phone, and I'm going like it sounds stupid, but I'm going like dul, 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 into the
Yeah,
phone.
I get it. Yeah.
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 And then yeah, and it's funny to listen back to my voice notes because it's just like 10 seconds, and then swipe up another 10 seconds. It's like it just sounds like nonsense. Um, but yeah, and then we came across this one voice note, and it was Breathe, or like the chords of Breathe. And I remember it because we were in like Shepherd's Bush, so where we practice, and it started playing, and then Joe turns to me and he goes, "Is this shit?" And then I was like, "No, I don't think it is. I think this is okay. Maybe we can use this." It didn't start off like, "Oh, is this good?" It was like, "Oh, is this shit?" And then yeah, and then we worked it out into Breathe. And I think it's kind of like a simple song really, because it's only got what, like 4 or 5 chords in it. But we did want it to end in a mellow way like that. We see it as kind of like Hark and the Waves is maybe like a big like ending to a film, and then Breathe could be like the epilogue to that, or like the credits
Yeah.
rather than after. And I think that's what we kind of wanted with the album for it to end in a mellow way and
Yeah.
emotional way like that.
Really classy way to end the
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
Um, I did love it, the cello and just the beautifulness of it. And it kind of, like you said, it feels like, you should hold your cell phone up at the end of the concert.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like people used to do lighters. I don't think they can do lighters anymore.
No.
So you've drawn a lot of comparison to Mastodon over the years. So did who had the idea to actually bring Troy Sanders in for Hark in the Waves, or was that kind of a collaboration? I love, by the way, your video journey of going to see him. It looks like you had a little bit of, oh my God, I love it when you smell him at the amp.
Yeah, it's like a voyage, right? Oh yeah, it's kind of like yeah, and it's like yeah, he's been here. Like there's traces of his scent amongst these
Oh
apps.
God,
Yeah.
that's funny. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I feel whose idea was it? I think, well, we kind of just thought this is the epic closer to the album. It would be cool to get someone epic to be the collaborator on this. And I mean, Johan, who works with Gojira and that kind of thing, also works with Mastodon. So we were kind of like, oh, like, could we maybe get this going? And then the label as well, like, they had a part to play in it, and yeah, we just got to talking with him basically, and he was like, yeah, he would love to do it, and yeah, it wasn't just like just do one line here and there. We just told him just do what you want with it. You're Troy from Mastodon. We're not going to tell you what to do, right? Like you know what.
Right, right.
And he just came back with pretty much like all these sections, and then he was just so nice about it as well and was like, if there's anything you want me to redo, just like let me know. But it was just like a one take thing. He just nailed it instantly. And yeah, it's like an honor to have him on the track. I mean, we're still a relatively growing band. We're not like hugely well known still. I think we're still getting discovered by a lot of people. So to have the accolades of like Joe from Gojira and Troy is just amazing.
Wasn't it for was it Blood and Thunder? They had Steve Montill as a guest, I think, on that record because they were kind of in your place. They were just getting started. The one with the whale on it. I think
Yeah,
that's got
Leviathan.
Leviathan. I think
Yeah,
Leviathan's got guest appearance from a Neurosis. So it's a cycle. You know what I mean? Like it. I can't remember whether it's Von Till or who, but there's somebody from Neurosis is on that album. I think.
Well,
yeah.
one
I think
day
you're right.
it'll
Yeah,
come full tilt and there'll be somebody very nervous waiting to meet you.
Waiting to meet you. Exactly. That's how it works. Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's like the cycle of music.
And that's why I got the combo pack.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So for this album, for the guitars, were there any special ones that you knew you had to use, or tuning or pedals that were integral to achieving the sound that you guys have?
Yeah, so I mean, everyone's kind of going digital these days. I don't know, do you play guitar at
Yeah,
all?
yeah, yeah.
So everyone's going to like quad cortexes or like Kempers, and it's just kind of like replicas of what real amps are nowadays. And I think for a live setup, that makes more sense. And so we tried that in the studio just to kind of like see, but no, we went classic with real amps. So we used like a Friedman on this one, which is one that I've owned for maybe a year or two, but never really used that much, maybe on 2 tours. And because I guess I've never really had good amps up until that point. I used like a combo like orange, what's it called? Not even like a valve amp. It was just like an orange, like beginner amp that I would use.
Okay, like a practice amp, almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then I was like, I've gone so long without having a proper amp. Let's just get a good amp. And then I ended up getting this Friedman. And I think that was kind of like the special sound to this album because it's that mixed with a 6505 PV, which is kind of like your classic go-to amp for a lot of metal tones, especially of the 90s as well.
Yeah.
So to blend that with the classic sound of the Friedman, I think that's what makes the tone special in this one because it's that classic sound mixed with modern, which is kind of what we write as well.
It's a really good mix.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna. We were having a bathroom redone, and we had all kinds of contractors here, and dust was everywhere. And I walk into his office, and he has all his guitars on his wall, and they're all covered in dust. And I was like, "Oh my God!"
Well, I probably should have thrown a tarp over him or something. That was on me. So, or put him in the freaking case. Why do I even have them? So.
No,
I
they
thought
should know. They should see a guitar on the wall and be like, "God, be careful, guys! Like,
Well,
don't."
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
because you know how it is. Like I have to have them on the wall, or else I'll never pick them up. If you once you put it in a case, I mean, well, you're a professional musician, but for someone who's not a professional, I need it on the wall so that I'll actually play it. So
well, yeah, I'm kind of the same in a way. It's like there's a stack of cases just there, and it's just the effort of even just getting a case out.
exactly. Like we say, well, I could show you, but then I'd have to like unpack it and all. And.
Yeah, it's like it's like so much effort. So
It's
have it
all
on the
packed
wall.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
So funny, yeah.
You got to have
So
on the wall
true.
to make sure it gets used. Yeah.
I used to I for my job, I used to have this job. It was a terrible job, but one of the things I had to do was to go visit the Paul Reed Smith factory in Maryland because
Nice.
I had to get there's a special certificate that was required for Brazilian rosewood because that's like fish and wildlife. Also mother of pearl for the inlays. So I got to go to PRS and get paperwork signed. And of course, I didn't hurry back.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You just got. But did
That
you
was
get
kind of cool. Yeah.
a custom PRS made?
Oh,
Did,
did you? Okay.
oh no,
Yeah,
did
this
you?
Oh no. I just was visiting the factory was close to where our office was and we were doing import export stuff, so this was a requirement. So I got to
Oh,
be the one that went to the factory to get paperwork signed. When they had I get the mother of pearl. I don't understand why Brazilian rosewood is considered to be a regulated item, but it is. So, but anyway, that's for the really smart people. I don't know. So,
yeah, I wouldn't know about that. If it
no,
sounds
and I
it's
always
good.
wanted to know like whose guitar is it? Like I want to be like, is this like John Pertucci's guitar? Who am I signing for? Like they wouldn't
Yeah,
tell you that.
yeah, that's cool though. That's cool to
Yeah,
be
it was
there.
cool. Yeah, because PRS for a while there, PRS through the boogie was the sound for every band. Like I'm kind of glad we got away from it, but for a while there, that was the combo for FM radio. So
Mm. Well, I think like one of my favorite bands, Opeth, I think they still use PRS, I think.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're on ESPs, and I mean, it's just we recently got endorsed by them, and
Oh,
it's
cool.
just, that's the classic like metal guitar basically, and it just feels like a privilege to be part of that now. So
Yeah,
many albums that like I grew up on, just like on guitarists, they're using ESPs, and it's like, yeah, that's yeah, sick.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever totally just taken a guitar apart and done all kinds of modifications to it that
Yeah, I've done some stupid stuff. So I quite like the look of relic Gibsons. So it's kind of like, or just actually guitars where they've been damaged through time on tours from the 1670s and they've got like burn marks on them and that kind of thing because they've been through that kind of like touring process. And then so I thought I would do that to my Schecter guitar for some reason. It was like the first
Okay.
Schecter guitar. I mean, it was the first guitar that I bought. And I was like, why don't I relic it? So then I started like hammering it and like sandpapering it and stuff, and just to try and make it look battered. And then after all that time, I was like, this looks pretty shit. Actually, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but it's still my first guitar, and I've still got it at home somewhere. And yeah, whenever it came on with me on one tour actually, because one of my other guitars is broke. And yeah, it just looks like a mess, and the volume knobs are like falling off and everything. But yeah, it's
It's
just
funny.
got a special place for me now because it's like that first stupid guitar that I like battered, basically.
The one thing I never got used to was in the 80s. I never got used to the headless. I always thought it looked stupid. I Some of my roommates in college had them, and I just was like, "There's something wrong with this design. It looks really dorky, you know." And
Yeah,
I kind of still feel that way. Like when I see like the old when Alex Lifeson's playing them and stuff, I'm just like, that wasn't a good look, you know. You need
yeah,
a
no,
headstock. You need it, you know, like
yeah. You need a point. You need
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I just associate that with any sort of like, yeah, geeky, proggy
Right.
um artist. But I think they tend to also be really good players though. I feel if you're gonna play one of those guitars, you have to be really good.
I
Otherwise,
can't remember whether it was harder or easier to put strings on when it was headless. I can't remember. It must not have been that bad. I don't remember what the process was for. I mean, have you done it? Have you strung a headless guitar?
no, never.
See,
No.
I
That's
can't
one of
remember.
the
It was weird, but I don't remember whether it took longer or was more of a pain in the ass. I don't remember. So anyway,
Yeah, we had interviewed this kind of proggy band Cyrex, and he has the double neck thing. I'm just like, I don't even know how you do that.
what?
he is like yes, 1971, like this man from the band Cyrex. Like when you talk to him, he has not. He's still there mentally,
Yeah,
physically. His hair's the same way. He wears puffy shirts. And he's just yeah. He's never aged. Yeah. So
classic. I
really
feel
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
there's something similar to that we were joking about the other day, in the same vein as fretless basses.
Right. Right.
So they just sound, I don't know, we were saying, are they cool or are they not? Just because they just sound a bit dorky. I know like Death have them on some albums as well, but they just sound a bit too like slidey. And I think they've got their place, but it's kind of a bit of a dorky thing as well, I think.
Yeah. I always associated with like jazz or something. Yeah. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You
Um,
want to do this?
but love the video for Be Not Dismayed too. So
Oh yeah.
good. How did the video shoot go? What the heck was Joe burning? It looks like some old tome or something, and it was also neat where you guys are playing. It looked wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a yeah, really cool location. I think I forgot the name of it, but it's a place which is designed to replicate it's like a history place where everyone kind of like lives in that time where there's like, where you would like be producing milk and cheese from scratch and that kind of thing. Yeah,
Oh
like
wow. Okay.
for
Yeah.
those days. Um and yeah, it's like a really cool location. From the outside, it kind of looked like Teletubby Land.
I
It's
didn't
like,
think of that. Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like because it's like in this hill, but then when you go
Okay.
inside, it's just like this, yeah, it just is this amazing space.
Wow.
Wow.
Um, and actually, James, the drummer, he was kind of like the main fire guy for the day. He he was like, yeah, I've got experience in this. Let me be the guy who's like, yeah, go on, do the
Oh,
fire.
cool.
And yeah, so like he put the fire pit in the middle, and then yeah, I don't know what Joe was holding at the time, but we only had so many of those as well, because so we were kind of had to hurry it up because then if it burned out and we didn't have any more, it was like, okay, well that's done.
Did you
Was
have any
was
trouble getting the fire
I
burning?
was gonna say,
So
well, was there like were there permits that you had to get or anything like that, or you know?
No, luckily it was just like the people who owned the place. They were just like, yeah, just do your thing. It's fine. We
Cool.
trust you. Yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't afraid of the fire.
yeah. No, I guess it was okay. I think there was a guy in the morning who kind of just checked in, maybe poked his head through the door and was like, everything okay? And
Okay.
then he kind of just like went off, and then we were fine to just do our own thing from then.
See, that takes us back to Blackmore. We didn't want another smoke on the water situation, right?
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
not good. Not good.
I love how you're playing facing each other too. Is that like easier to vibe off by facing each other? Is that how you practice, or is it more like a stage setup?
Yeah, it's very similar to how we practice actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all kind of like facing towards each other and like in that formation. But I guess on stage we're not. We're always like looking out. But we kind of get that better vibe just looking at each other and just seeing the cues off each other as well. Um, yeah, I think it's just a lot better that way. So when we were in the round off in that venue, it was just kind of like had more of that energy, just seeing each other.
All right, you want to do more game?
Ask that one
What?
about the YouTube comment.
Oh, it was funny. And I was watching on YouTube and I happened to notice a comment came up where somebody said, I clicked on this because I was hoping to see people peeing on themselves, but I found a really good band. I'm not upset. So I
Um,
just had to laugh. I was just like, I wonder how old the urn
yeah.
thing is getting for them. Like,
Right.
but at least
Uh,
he found you. I don't know why he was
yeah.
looking for people peeing
Well,
on each other.
there's a few questions there. Like, were they genuinely seeking out like golden showers material? I don't
Right,
know.
exactly. Yeah.
There's like, and then is our music now fueling that as well? Is he like
Yeah.
watching that stuff whilst listening to us? I don't know.
There's all kinds of
Um,
possibilities there. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it is odd for us now, but like we're just like, oh yeah, whatever. I think everyone that makes that joke as well thinks they're the first person to make that joke.
Exactly. I was gonna say, yeah,
Um,
and if it was funny once, it's funnier 10,000 times. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah.
but it seems to mostly be either like Brits making that because it's kind of like that British humor. Like we played a festival, I can't remember in Portugal. Yeah, there happened to be like a tech guy there who was British, and the first thing he said to us was like, "Yeah, I thought URNE were playing, you know," and it's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we haven't heard that before." But you know, like it's, I mean, like it just comes with the name. Whereas like in Europe, that's how it's spelt. Like an urn is spelt that way. So I think they embrace it and they make it sound cooler because it's actually pronounced like Urna, and it sounds even like
Okay.
evil and kind of black metal in a way where it's like, yes, Urna.
Yeah.
Whereas like in English it's like Urn. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we do get that joke quite a lot. But hopefully they're enjoying our music now.
Well, he said he wasn't mad, and he found a cool
Well,
band. So
I'm gonna go on Metal Archives eventually and see is there actually a band called Urine? There's probably 30 of them, but I'll let you know. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other, well, there's that band Piss Jeans.
right.
Trying to
we
think
have a
what,
local band here, Cemetery Piss. That's kind of close.
Yeah. Well, what a
yeah.
great segue because we play a game on the show where it's called Blaspheming Monikers, and I have 5 band names in front of me, and I need you to try to guess which one is fake, which one's not real. This is all Metal Archives research right here. So,
Nice. Yeah, that sounds
okay.
fun.
Okay. All right, I'll read them off to you once, twice, whatever, and you just keep guessing until either you get it right or we run out of bands. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Dormitory effect, whorehouse effect, proximity effect, virtuosity effect, and mock stem effect. Which one of those sounds fake?
I feel virtuosity effect sounds real because they sound like a super geeky. Well, I don't know what their kind of music is like, but that sounds like a prog band kind of thing. Uh, maybe not, like kind of like what's Petrucci's other band? Oh, Liquid Tension Experiment.
Oh yeah.
And that name cracks me up, even though cool band, but I mean Liquid Tension Experiment. I think was there one proximity effect?
Yeah, proximity effect. Yeah. So
Proximity.
that's your guess?
That's my guess.
Okay. No, they're real. They're thrash from North Dakota of all places. They have 2
Okay.
EPs. So that leaves dormitory effect, whorehouse effect, virtuosity effect, and mock stem effect.
My second choice would then be mock stem effect.
Okay. No, they're real. They're from France, death metal, 1 EP. What does that mean? Mach stem effect. I don't even understand what that is. MACHSTEM effect.
Huh.
Sounds like some kind of medical research or something.
Yeah, yeah, like stem
That's
cell,
exactly.
like
Like some
fake cells.
I don't
Um,
know.
so now I'm starting to think of virtuosity effect is the correct answer all along.
No, they're prog metal from Texas, and like you said, it's like the Cacophony band where it's two long-haired guys with guitars. They're from
Yeah,
Texas. Yeah. So
sounds like
no,
my
it was
kind of.
Whorehouse Effect is the one I made up. So
Oh, but that one sounds so real though.
that's what I was going for because I thought, Greenhouse Effect. How about
Yeah,
Whorehouse Effect, right?
yeah, yeah.
I thought there's going to be 10 bands called this. Nope. So
That's surprising. And now
there
you
you
have to
go.
start. Now you have to start.
I've done that so many times on the show. I could do a whole jean vest full of bands I made up, like patches. Like I could, and that would be, as we've talked about this on the show, that'd be the ultimate hipster move to be like, oh, who are they? Look, you wouldn't know, okay?
Yeah,
You wouldn't know.
they're
Yeah.
too
These
underground. Not
bands are all
even.
very elite, yeah.
Yeah, not even like one EP out. You just have to
None
know
of
about.
them exist, right? None of them exist.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah,
so yeah, that was great. Yeah.
start the whorehouse effect. And that was
The Whorehouse Effect. There you go.
I think that'd be right up there.
That could be death metal. That could be like sleazy hard rock. There's a lot of possibilities for that, I think. You could have like especially if you had like women in the band, like you could have like a girl singer. That then it's not really offensive anymore, like there's all kinds of possibilities.
Maybe we could join
yeah,
up
yeah.
with Dan Peach and Lesbian Bed Death. I think that would be a good
We're gonna
movement.
get them on the show too. We love interviewing British bands. Like Lesbian Bed Death, we just got done doing their review, and I'm trying to get Dan on the show again. We really enjoyed talking to
Oh,
them. Yeah, even like the guys from Zentrix, we had a lot of fun with them. We enjoyed
God was a
Spider
wonderful
God
guy.
was a good one. Yeah, so if we can get the weekend interview set up, it always turns out really Trauma Bond was really good. Yeah. So
yeah,
anyway,
nice.
lots of good bands from England. So yeah.
So also love the video for A Spirit Alive. I love the fact Joe 90% of the time has his fist in his air.
Very optimistic.
And when we were talking to him, I was shocked how much of an American football addict he is. And, I
Oh yeah.
pitched to him, I bet he could get an NFL team to have that as like their rally song.
There's you go. There's the
That
revenue
would be
spike right
amazing.
there. Yeah.
Get that played at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yes.
That,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
yeah, I think who does he support? Chargers, LA Chargers fan, I think he is.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I don't know anything about this sport, so yeah, you'll have to
Yeah.
talk to him about that.
Yeah, he had
Um,
multiple screens going, like right before we started the interview and stuff. He was really into it.
was it on a Sunday? Yeah, he talks to me about this. Is it like red zone? So like
Yeah.
you've got like all the different games going on at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh yeah, let's quickly cut to this part of the game, and it's like
Yeah.
you've got the highlights of all the games going on in one go or something.
Yes. I don't know if it's this way with like British football, but like in the United States, and I talk about this all the time. If I want to watch a movie, I just go on Prime and I pay $5 and I watch the movie, right? Well, you can't do that in the US with sports. I don't know if you can in England, but like if I want to watch a football game, I have to buy all the games. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just I don't understand that, and I don't.
Unless it happens occasionally, it's streamed. But if you don't have local network TV, you have to do the YouTube package.
And it's all year too. It's not just football season. You would literally have to pay hundreds of dollars every year just to be able to watch your sport when it was on. It's
Uh,
crazy. I mean,
so and you have to pay for like everything, not just the
you pay
one
for
game.
everything. Yeah, which
It's like
doesn't it
$600 a
doesn't make any
year.
sense. It would be like if I wanted to watch a movie and I have to pay for all the movies. Like it doesn't make any sense. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's only Netflix that I really pay for. Like these
Right.
days.
Well, that's why we got rid of our cable because all we watch is like Netflix and a couple of other apps. So I mean, we don't need all that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we were never watching regular TV.
and actually when I do if I do watch the Super Bowl and I see the commercials for the shows that are on, I'm like shocked at it. I'm like, this is so awful. I can't believe anyone would want to watch a show where people have to answer trivia questions from Rob Lowe and then they have to get into a Ferris wheel if they get them. I mean, just The ideas behind these shows in mainstream culture, I'm just like appalled by them.
Well, one thing I don't know if Joe said it on last time he was on the show, but when we were recording in New York, the thing that was fascinating to us was American TV and the shows on it, and the amount of ads that are in between the shows as well. Like there's
Oh
so
yeah.
many ads. But a show we got addicted to was called like 60 Days In or something like that, where it's like
No.
a guy um goes into a prison and he's
Oh
like
God.
infiltrates the prison and he has to find out information or something. It's like a real show. Um yeah, so they have to basically infiltrate some information in the prison and pretend they're an inmate, but then they get really close to these people and then people start sussing them out like, you don't seem legit. And
But
then
it was a reality show?
yeah, it's like a reality show where
Oh, wow.
they go into the prison
Well, then
and
how can it be real? It's there's no way. It's got to be fake then. I mean, you couldn't.
I
That's the
don't
thing.
know.
When it's a reality show, you automatically know it's all made up. I mean,
Yeah,
like where they're starving on the island. You know that there's a cameraman munching on a Snickers bar. You know the whole time while they're starving. You know, like it's just everything to
yeah,
me about reality TV. No matter how cool the premise is, it's I don't believe it. You know, like I don't know.
yeah. I know this had us sold though, because there was one guy that he got a bit too involved, and then because I think he had been in prison before, but then was out and then went back into prison to do the show, and then
Oh,
he's
okay.
going back into his old ways, and then started like intimidating the other inmates, like
Oh, wow.
what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Like, and it was like, yeah, it was just like an interesting show that we were like
If that
watching.
was legit, yeah, I would see, I could see myself watching something like that because I've watched Shawshank Redemption like 900 times. So yeah, I could.
That's so much better than the game show where they have to guess what's not a cake. I'm like, this is a whole show?
Yeah, like
That's
how
the
are they
kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
that
kind
much material off? Is it like a half an hour episode? Even half an hour is like there's no way you could do that in 30 seconds. Like, is that a cake or not? No, it's not. Okay. But
yeah,
the cakes do look good though. But yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
Um, those did you watch that thing recently where it's like a skyscraper live on Netflix?
Oh no.
Whereas a guy
It came up on my thing, but no, I didn't watch it. Why is it any good?
I mean, I watched it afterwards and I knew that he survived, so it was fine. But I guess if you're watching it live, it's like, yeah, this guy free soloing this skyscraper with like
Wow.
harnesses, and it's like, is he gonna drop? Is he not gonna drop? And it's that to me, that's really Black Mirror to watch as well. Like live,
Yeah.
it's a bit like this guy could fall to his death any second, and like thousands of people are just watching this.
Well,
It's
see, I was thinking
fundamental.
the opposite. I was thinking like teenage girls are going, this is boring. What else is there? This is boring. Like he's risking his life. He put his whole everything he's got into it, and kids are like, no, 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 this is not worth. This
Yeah,
isn't as good as what I'm watching on TikTok, you know. So
yeah, it's like,
doom scrolling culture, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys are about to start the Hark and the Waves tour. It looks like you've got a lot of stops, Germany, Netherlands, France. So do you personally have any pre-show rituals before hitting the stage? And what songs are your personal favorites to play live?
Um, we do the kind of like usual before we're about to go on, the kind of like team huddle, uh,
Okay.
and there's not a speech or anything. It's just more like, let's go, let's do this. I think that's about it. But maybe half an hour before, we just like to warm up and make sure that we're ready to go, and we kind of leave each other to it. It's kind of like we wander off, do the things we want to practice, and then meet up like a minute before we're about to go on the stage. Which means sometimes as well that it's like if we're about to go on in 30 seconds and someone isn't there or hasn't shown up, that's when the panic really begins. It's like,
I would think so. Yeah.
it's like, oh, well, where are they? And it's like, shit, we're about to go on. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of the new album on in the set. Like there's the singles that we've released, Hark and the Waves, like Dismayed and Spirit Alive, and then another new song, which Ancient Horizon, which is going to be in the set as well. And that's been really fun to play and practice for the first time. So we've never played that before in it, like ever.
That's
Um,
great.
for me, I think it is Harken the Waves. Um, I mean, it's like, well, it's 9 minutes first off, so it's kind of like
Well, right.
Yes.
we kind of have to like get it right, especially because we're
Yeah.
playing to a click for it too. So like any little like fuck up, you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to kind of like get it right the first time. I think that's the fun challenge of it. And yeah, I just really enjoyed playing that one.
That's a good one. I'm hoping maybe someday you'll be over here playing that. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
So, what do you think is the weirdest venue or stage that you've ever personally played on, whether with this band or another?
The weirdest. Oh, I don't think there's anything that weird. Um, yeah, there hasn't been. This isn't with this band, but this is like a old stupid teenager thing, which in my school band there was a friend and he put on this show called No Shoes Fest in his flat, and
Okay.
it was in his living room, and it was called No Shoes Fest because it was like as you come into the show, like you got to take off your shoes, and there was probably
Okay.
about 20 of us in this guy's living room, just like doing covers and like just like messing around, but it was quite fun. And he lives in the middle flat of like a block as well. So like all the neighbors heard loads of complaints and that kind of thing. But no, with URNE, I don't think we've played anywhere that weird or anything. I think we've obviously done like the pub shows and grown from that, but they've all been kind of like, yeah, I think pretty standard pub shows, I think. Yeah, if something comes to me, I'll let you know, but
Yeah,
nothing
my
weird.
favorite answer to that question, we had a Swedish band called Bacon Wagon on, and they said, and they're two brothers, twins, and the one said, "Remember the bicycles?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, we played, and it was a regular concert venue, but everyone was on bicycles the whole time we were playing, like all crisscrossing." And then they went on to something else, like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? Why was everyone on bicycles at a
Yeah.
show?" Like they didn't want to give me any like background or context to it, and we never got it, did we? Just people on bicycles, really weird.
Do there?
So I kind of like I've never really solved that riddle.
Yeah, I kind of want to know, like, could they get off the bicycles? Like, were they allowed to? They had to
Yeah,
stay.
but these two guys are like that. They just say something and then they move on, and they don't like to provide,
Mm,
and it's always really weird. But anyway, so
no context.
yeah, so yeah, if you ever go to a bicycle fair of some kind and you end up playing there, then that's what that is, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
with Earn, have you ever had a fan interaction that was memorable for good or bad reasons?
Um, memorable. Well, there's this one that we keep joking about where um I think this guy's like poster maybe got ruined the night before and then he was at the next show. And then I think it's not even going to be funny now. It's only funny to us because like it happened at the time. But like yeah, I think that it got ruined because of like rubber bands. And I don't know. And he was like, yeah, sorry, this poster got ruined because of the rubber bands that you guys put on the poster. And then I just didn't know what to say. So I was like, rubber bands, like that. And and then he just kind of like stood there like, can I just get another poster, please? And then and then everyone we just keep saying now like I don't know, we just keep quoting that like rubber bands, these damn rubber
It is
bands.
actually funny. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just we've got a lot of like amazing fans. That's why we're excited to go back to these places this week. Um, they're just like really supportive of us, and yeah, a lot of people that we're now would say we're like friends with as well. And you just get to meet all these cool people around the world, and yeah, it's just nice to like speak to anyone who kind of accepts us into their country and kind of like teaches us something as well.
It's great.
And you're set to play the Summer Breeze Festival in Germany. You know, a lot of people tell us German fans are intense
Very
about their met.
serious.
They're very serious. It's not, It's not something they take lightly. What's your best advice with festivals for surviving them and um, kind of getting through the day? And what do you think is best and worst about a festival?
Um, well, I feel just European festivals just nail it. Well, look, we love playing European festivals, especially. And yeah, we played Summer Breeze, maybe it was 2, 3 years ago. And it was the first time playing that festival. And it was like a packed out tent. And I think a lot of people hadn't heard us before, but we just won them over. So it's great to be back there. Um, I think to survive a metal festival, though, it depends. We've played a lot of hot ones where it's like there was one where we played a show and people were watching, but because it was so hot, they went to the tent to watch us from that tent to
Oh, for the
our
shade,
tent.
for the to
Yeah, for
get
the
the shade.
shade.
Okay, for the shade.
So like it was like really busy and packed, but over in that corner where they were watching us, like whilst the other band were setting up in that tent over there or whatever, they were like watching us.
Okay, got it. That
Um,
is weird. Yeah.
just for the shade. And yeah, I feel yeah, a lot of just like making sure you're yeah, just I hate the heat actually. I can't deal with the heat.
Yeah, I
Um,
when we go, we always we go to MDF every year, and when we go, we dress for absolute comfort just because we know we're going to be walking all over the place and it's going to be hot and we're going to be drinking and whatever else. But then you see people that are wearing like head to toe leather and head to toe studs, and I'm always like, that outfit is so impractical.
They look
like
great.
100 degrees and they're wearing like a vampire leather long coat, and I'm like they're James Rivera from Hellstar or something, I'm like,
yeah,
how is that going to work for you today?
it's dedication, but yeah, you can just imagine how sticky they are as well. Like
I wouldn't last a minute in that. Just,
yeah, especially the leather pants as well, and they're just
yeah,
like
they don't breathe at all. And yeah, I
yeah,
know.
and you can imagine like with each step they take, it's like there's a squelch, like a but
Exactly.
yeah,
Like,
dedication.
yeah, and with the women too, wore these big, poofy, flared out outfits and everything. And I can't imagine you're going to be here in the heat for like 7 or 8 hours today.
But
Like
my younger days, I wore the heels. No, not anymore. Sneakers.
with age comes a certain perspective on that. Yeah, I used to wear the bullet belts and all that shit. Not anymore. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even yeah, we're all about the comfort when we're touring or at a festival. It's kind of like, I guess, well, in my head, I'm like, oh, is this like really uncool? And are people gonna be like, oh, there's that guy from that band, and now he's like wearing like shorts and flip-flops or whatever. But I mean, even the bigger, but like, I remember, where is it? We were at Download Festival, and oh, that it was a cool moment where Kirk Hammett was just around. And then he was just wearing like surfer shorts and then a black tank top or something like that. And
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
it's just like and flip-flops. So I mean, yeah, it's all about comfort, I think.
I
You learn over
yeah.
time.
I remember the 90s when Metallica was touring one of the loads, and I was very hardcore, and that was when I would have worn the leather. And I just remember the joke was because they were touring and they were all wearing shorts, right? I was like, look, it's the shorts that should not be. While they're a great comedy team, there's no indication that they're actually husband and wife. Okay, Sounds of Decay 1 is the new album from Gorrch, Stillamentum. Hey, not to brag, but if blaspheming monikers has taught me anything, it's that I'm pretty good at coming up with band names. It's a weird skill that I have yet to monetize. The Italian black metal band Gork, these guys get it. One word, one syllable, like clutch, fang, botch, thou, earn, right? But these paisans have taken it a step further by making up their own word. It doesn't sound like anything else. Genius, too, because you're never going to get into a lawsuit over copywriting a nonsense word. Far less common, and I couldn't even find any good examples, so I made up my own. I'm setting the price at $1,100 each for the exclusive rights to these. So come at me in the DMs if you like them. Crawl, Grike, Slunch. And for the multi-syllable monikers, how about Dedendrus, Distorlax, Snappyac? Hey, I know you clicked here for the review, but a little wayward capitals never hurt anybody, did it?
At any rate, Gorrch have been operating as a duo since originally forming back in 2010. And Stillamentum, also not a real word as far as I can find, is their second full length, consisting of 6 songs, mostly in the 6 to 7 minute range. The duo is comprised of 2 brothers, Alexandro Skurmanik, aka Droich, and brother Enrico, aka Kimaskrin, on drums and vocals. It's admirable considering the only thing my brother and I ever accomplished was finishing a bag of Funyuns together. It's an intense listen built on the ever-blasting percussive style of Kimaskrin with furious riffing from Gorrch that sweeps across these tracks like wind howling through a cave. He's definitely capable of building tension in these songs, strolling through angular, dissident changes and ludicrously intense tremolo-picked melodies. All the lyrics are in Italian, delivered by drummer Kimaskrin, mostly witchy cackles with the occasional monk drone overlay. It recalls the feeling of watching a raging thunderstorm from the safety of your porch, contemplating life's mysteries, like, is nature trying to remind us how small we are? And did I leave my windows open?
Virago, which is translated as chasm, is a good example of the band's bleak, overwhelming style of black metal, vaulting from the speakers with hyperspeed blasting and several layers of guitars writhing and pulsing under Kimaskrin's unhinged screams. The Italian lyrics speak of fog, murk, and abyss after abyss, so I can only assume they're describing Baltimore weather these past few weeks with an emphasis on potholes. Let's play a clip. This is Virago.
Angor and Anchor also kicks off with the band's signature tone of brutal percussion and soaring waves of dissidence. About 3 minutes in, Kimaskrin shifts into a lower tempo, working through rolls and fills that show off his ridiculous precision, just in time for some contrition-adjacent drone vocals to marvelous effect. This is Hell's elevator music, people, and you need to hear it. Closer Phlegma is the disc's longest track, and it packs in the most variety of any on the album, kicking off with naked guitar, sliding through trapdoors of turbulent percussion and sideways riffing, stutter stepping into a glorious simplistic pounding rhythm with Kimaskrin roaring Lugubre, Splay Tra, Aboreo, which translates to something about ghosts and trees. Or was it spirits and lumber? This made me think about getting drunk and going to Home Depot for some reason, which I don't think was the band's intention, but it sounds marvelous.
At any rate, fans of stuff like Orm, Spectre, and of course Death Spell Omega should head over to Gorrch's Bandcamp page and bathe their brains in this dark chaos post-haste. Catch them all over Europe this summer with Cripple Skim, Keep Destroyer, and Teethlock. Let's hear Phlegma. Sounds of Decay 2 is the new album from Necronomicon x Mortis, Zombie Blood Nightmare. Bound in human skin and inked in blood, the Necronomicon was never meant for the casual company, which frankly delights my inner goth girl. Ever since the Evil Dead cracked that curse book open and let the Deadites off the leash, I've been all in for zombies, violence, and pitch black punchlines delivered with deadpan precision. Gore and comedy sharing the same spotlight. That is just my home turf. So a band named after such a tomb ought to be as subtle as a morgue door implosion, and spoiler alert, they bring the noise. This Chicago five-piece returns with, ironically, their fifth EP, Zombie Blood Nightmare, and like its namesake, it bursts forward like the Deadites swinging a ribcage like a press pass, and dark comedy one-liners in its back pocket. Across 6 tracks, most in the tight 3 to 5 minute strike zone, with one near 7-minute beast lurking in the shadows, the band locks into the same horror-splashed energy that makes it look effortless, like ducking into the Winchester for a pint.
The longer track, Chopped Up and Burned, is absolutely no holds barred, stacking not one but 2 guest solos from Matthew Mills and Jeff Young, ex-Megadeth. Yeah, that Jeff Young. Because if one solo tears the flesh, 2 make sure it bleeds out. Double the riffage, double the carnage, double the fun. Left to Die rips the band-aid off and gets this bloody party started. Right out of the gate, guitarist Michael Nystrom Bela unleashes a chugga-chug-wah soaked riff that hooks harder than a meat locker ceiling. Manuel Babara slides in with a second guitar line that bends and warbles just slightly sideways. Behind them, drummer Joey Ferretti works the kit from all angles. Tom rolls, tumble forward, rim clicks, snap, tink-a-tink, and cymbal flurries keep the song lurching at World War Z sprint levels. Then there are these dips when the pace drops into a doom-heavy stalk that feels more Michael Myers before returning into a swarm speed drive. When vocalist John Sawicki enters, his delivery is half snarl, half venomous spit, like a cat producing a hairball.
The guitars settle into a flittering, groove-heavy stomp churn, while bassist Yusuf A. Rashid gurgles beneath them, dropping thick elephant-weight chords that give the track real mass. Midway through, we're treated to a guest solo from Jeff Young. His tone is gritty and urgent, notes spiraling upward and then diving like a jugular punctured and spraying. High tolling notes cut through the mix like a distant death knell. Young shreds more notes than the number of zombies that took down Rick's horse. By the end, the band drags the tempo back into that doomy churn, simmering the groove like a dark cauldron elixir. One final guitar run scrambles out of the speakers, frantic and exposed, like a bat startled into daylight. Another track that taps directly into my inner Walking Dead zombie rally anthem is Hungry for Brains. It opens with a wiry, repeating guitar figure that feels like a nervous tick, flanked with kick drum punctuation that primes the appetite. The twin guitars of Michael Nystrom Bala and Manuel Barbara flicker like flames. One line climbs, thin and needling, while the other coils around it. They veer into scratchy, distorted riffing, then glide back into those glorious harmonized lines as smoothly as Ash clicks in his chainsaw hand.
Between the verses, the band struts into a throbbing circular groove that churns like an industrial dryer. Joey Ferretti keeps the drums at a ludicrous gallop, while Yusuf A. Rashid's bass rolls underneath like a dump truck rattling across rumble strips. John Sawicki's vocals arrive like Gollum having a tantrum, ranting and spewing with feral intensity. A guest solo from James Norton, Squiggle screams, slides, and burns, long and hot like a barn blaze full of zombies. The solo resurfaces again and again, each pass hotter than the last, before the band snaps the groove tight and drags the whole thing back to its ravenous stomp. Let's play a clip. This is Left to Die.
I think my favorite track here has to be Lumbering Blood-Sucking Freaks, and I'm fairly confident this is not a commentary on backyard mosquitoes. The song lives up to its title immediately, with low-end riffs rumbling along and 3 stalking strikes that bunch up in a chugga-chugga-chugga groove. The drums of Ferretti feel alive, smacking along with the speed of frightened prey's heartbeat, that jump scare just may be you. The bass line vibrates hard enough to singe nose hairs. Mid-track, the riffs fall from all directions, flowing like lava oozing out and hugging turns. Short, low tremolos sneak out of the heavy riffs, really adding a herculating fear factor. The groove of the guitars settling in over the uber quick snare pops and rollouts are catchy as hell. By the second pass, the hook has already taken hold like the bite that broke skin before you realized you were bleeding. No antidote, sorry.
There is that reference to that scene of any classic zombie film. The heroes round the corner to a sea of zombies, more numerous than the fans at Roadburn Festival, and most of us would be screaming expletives or starting to run. Instead, John Sawicki delivers a perfectly seething deadpan. There are too many. I strive to be this level of calm someday. Anyway, just when the groove returns to have you fully hypnotized, a bright solo tears free. It races upward into panic-stricken harmonies, twin guitars trembling and linking before one breaks off into a lead with more runs than a low-budget horror franchise sequel spree. The track closes by returning to that chuggy, stomping groove one final time, grinding it deep into the floor before fading out in an ominous, pulsing throb. What makes Zombie Blood Nightmare work is a commitment and a bit of tongue-in-cheek cheese. The horror themes are embraced with comic book fervor and genuine reverence for the death metal roots. Beneath the splatter and severed punchlines sits serious musicianship, locked in performances and riffs stacked like a butcher's tasting menu. Riffs for the entree, riffs on the side, riffs again for dessert. Maybe a sprinkle of entrails just to keep it festive. Fans of Impaled, Exhumed, and Ghoulhouse will devour this with every ounce of their undead black hearts. And much like the cracking open the Necronomicon in The Evil Dead, you know exactly what kind of Kandarian demons you will be summoning. The difference is this time, you are turning up the volume and welcoming these death metal deadites with open arms. I must brush up on my Sumerian. Let's play a clip. This is Lumbering, Blood-Sucking Creeps.
Don't go outside, danger. Lumbering, blood-sucking freaks. Do not trust any stranger. There are too many. All hope is lost. There are too many.
Okay, Sounds of Decay 3 is the new EP from Dissentience, Kaiju. I had to look this one up. Dissentience, and what I found was it is the act of disagreeing or opposing a majority opinion. Sounds like a word I should know, since there are definitely areas where I disagree with the majority opinion. Like, what in the wide, wide world of sports is so great about ranch dressing? Our local stores are loaded with the stuff. God forbid you ask where the blue cheese is, of which they only have 3 bottles, then everybody gets all judgy. Look, is it my fault that I don't want to put Elmer's glue with a hint of garlic on my salad? Hidden Valley Ranch my ass. They're sure doing a lousy job of hiding it.
Superior tastes and salad aside, Dissentience are a 4-piece thrash band from the northern PA steel town that is Bethlehem, PA. Fun fact, apparently it's now called Christmas City. Well, I would hope so with a name like Bethlehem. I'm pretty sure the only 3 wise men in that town are Manny, Mo, and Jack, especially if you have a flat tire, but this is not important to the review. Anyway, the new EP is entitled Kaiju and consists of 4 songs in the slightly proggy 5 to 7 minute range. I usually get bored pretty quick with modern thrash bands, but these guys have just enough heaviness to catch my ear. The combination of Connor Valentin's near death metal shout and the tight, nimble execution of the riffs were pretty hard to ignore. Plus, there's a nod or two to the old school 80s stuff that I grew up listening to. Metal Archives was kind enough to share the fact that he runs a guitar pedal brand, but also that his birthday is August 9th. I've never seen that on Metal Archives page. I guess next will be his turnoffs include women in furs, smelly cigars, and overpriced airport food. What is this world coming to, people?
Opener Obsidian Tomb kicks off with a cool acoustic intro, the way the masters like Heathen or Metallica used to conjure back in the day. And the way the song moves from clean intro to slow heavy to all-out thrash is very much a nod to the old school. Plus drummer Nick Sheridan, which is a very thrashy name, uncorks some blast beats towards the back half of the song, which makes the whole thing much heavier than it needs to be. Let's hear a little bit of Obsidian Tomb.
Oh Lord, break through the precious
course, with 2 guitarists, including one that has his own brand of guitar pedal. The leads on this thing are taffy-twisting virtuosic drama. The tandem of Valentine and Jimmy Vital complement each other well, particularly when they drift slyly into uber melodic harmonies. The title track is an all-out thrasher from the very first note, Sheridan showing some impressive double kick skills, while Valentine barks out lyrics like Kaiju will bring forth the new age of rot, to marvelous effect. Closer, Death Shroud, maybe my favorite track on the short EP. At 7+ minutes, I was expecting nothing less than an epic, and that's what we got. Again, a clean old school style intro that takes its time, progressing into slow crunch, lots of wild leads. We don't get the first vocal until the 2-minute mark, and that's not something that we see very often with a thrash song. Most of the track moves at a slower pace, riffs barking like a machine gun and steady, intermittent grooves. The tempo really only picks up at the end for a pretzel knot finger solo like a final drop on a roller coaster ride.
A very strong EP from a genre I seem to like less every year. And hey, it's not you, it's me. And for the record, my turnoffs include typewriter drum tones, falling off a cliff vocals, and, well, chiropractors. Till next time, kiddos. Let's play a clip. This is Death Shroud.
Till next time, kiddos. Another one in the hopper. Look at that. 34 just oozed out. Sure did. Yeah. Good luck, Olympic athletes. He's hoping technology doesn't ruin your dreams.
Every time I'm folding laundry and I seem to put it on, it's more luge. Every
I
time.
don't know who was complaining. Like, who said, we want tighter shots? I want to be up the skier's ass. Like, who said that? I was fine with it.
Spinning with the skater.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I want, it's already so ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Everybody watches the Olympics already. I don't know what they're worried about the ratings for or whatever. But I mean, if I trained my whole life to, to win like a ski jumping contest and I got hit in the head with anything, I would not be happy. This has been the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast. Special thanks to Angus from URNE for appearing on the show. These guys are going to be huge, and you people need to get on it. Snaggletooth theme by Gustav Jord of Defleshed. Sounds of Decay theme by Steve Rathbone of Lair of the Minotaur. Sounds of Decay bands reviewed this week: Gorrch, Dissentience, Necronomicon x Mortis. All content 2026. The Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast.
Drone delivering food. Here is hot soup and crackers.
Ow.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.